Hello and welcome to Chatz, a television podcast, season 17, Chatz Away. The show where two best friends and also their friends are watching through the Netflix original series, The OA, for the very first time. My name is Allen, and I'm joined by the person who Hap gets his noxious persuasive gas delivered from. It's Magellan.
Well, look, I don't know what people use it for. The prescribed use of the gas. I can't even think of one good, legitimate thing. So I'm not gonna venture one. It's for nope.
No, try.
It's okay. Yeah, it was originally created to be the smoke that comes out of volcanoes in black and white film specifically. Just it's like something to do with the particular density of the gas, the way that it shows up. We didn't know any of this other stuff, so
it's like Viagra, where you have that side effect they didn't expect, and they're standing next to the volcano. The guy's like, "I really don't like you." You're like, "Why'd you say that?" Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I kind of want to push you in. That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
There was a weird Godzilla movie.
Well, Magellan, thanks you for being here. As always, I appreciate you and your Stargate hoodie.
Yeah.
That means Cordyceps.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Always.
Please.
Please. If you can't tell, listener, we are joined by a special guest this week. We had a lot of folks ask to join on Chatz Away when they heard that we were covering the OA, but we had one person who asked before they knew what the show was. That's right, folks. It's the guy who dyed the bathtub purple for some reason. It's Pat.
Yeah, whenever you got the fake hair color, and it just soaks into the water and just gets in his skin.
Do you think?
Usually it's just the neckline, but I honestly think she probably just had like purple hair, and like that was my thinking. Yeah.
Do you think that's no? We'll talk about why that bathtub is purple. But
fine. She was very purple. Yeah, for sure.
Very, very dead. That's right. I'm so excited to talk about the OA with my friends. Pat, thank you for being here. First of all, you are a longtime Chatz listener and one half of the Brothers at Infinite War, which is a bit that we bring up every week at the end during the Patreon segment because your wonderful brother Nick is a loyal $5 plus patron. And
the above, yeah.
Yes, true. And you've been a friend of the pod for a while. So as I mentioned, you asked to be on Chatz Away before you knew what it was. Can you speak to why you chose that?
I mean, I won't say that it's not, at least partially, because I was like, I've been told that Nick and I are tied for guest appearances. I was a little surprised by that, but I guess it's because you didn't include like
on the main feed,
romantic Valentine's Day Red Dwarf pods. Like you just do the main ones. So I was like, okay, I gotta get ahead on that. But also I hadn't been on in a while. Not on bonus or especially on main feed. I think main feed. I think the last time I was like would have been couch, right? Like it would just like that would. I think
that's right.
Fringe
for Fringe. I mean that's the name. The viewers at home can't see it. The name of this group chat is the Fringe Light Phone, which I named forever ago. I was trying to persuade.
My favorite thing is when you make a group on Discord and it's like you already have a group, and I'm like, what the fuck is the Fringe Light Phone? Oh,
yeah, you have to find it.
Sure. Yeah, that's the DM I want. Definitely.
Yeah. Pat. Definitely. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But no, that was supposed to be it. I'm especially glad that I volunteered because the OA. I remember when that came out, and I was intrigued by it because. I am a fan of Another Earth. I thought for her movie that she did before this, I watched that a number of times. I even showed it to my girlfriend. Really good. It's like you ever see? I think none of you seen, at least according to Letterboxd, the Man from Earth. It reminds me a lot of that, of like just a contemplative, spiritual movie with like sci-fi elements and stuff like that. And it's like sci-fi, but like finding meaning that sci-fi happens to be a backdrop. So. I'm hopeful. I mean, so far so good with this is what the OA is kind of bringing. It's sci-fi backdrop, spiritual meaning.
That's a good way to put it.
So, yeah,
and
so I'm glad I volunteered.
Me too. We are glad. We also kind of assigned it to you. We assigned these episodes to you, or episode. We're talking about episode 3 with you, and then you'll be off for episode 4. I think what I'm noticing about the OA and what's making it fun to schedule guests for, it's like opening a present every week. It's like, what the hell show do I get this week? And it's something different every time. So every guest is like, I guess I want to be on one. I don't know which, like some of them, people we have scheduled are like, yeah, I know which one I want because it's this one. And some people are like, just put me on anything. They're all weird. They're all like good and weird and confusing.
Yeah.
And it's a different genre kind of every time too, which I'm getting a kick out of.
Okay.
So it sounds like, Pat, you have not seen the show before. Is that correct?
I have not. No. Again,
Awesome.
I remember when it came out and it was of interest. I think I was constantly mixing up. What's the Jason Bateman, the show Ozark? I was mixing up with that. Just the time. Yeah, definitely a different show. But I remember they kind of came out around the same time, and I got mixed up. But my girlfriend and I brought up the fact that I was going to watch it, and I asked her because it's definitely a show that she would be interested in. So we watched the first 3 episodes yesterday, and then I was very much enjoying that, and probably could have kept going, but I was like, no, when I was like, I'm only going to cover the 1 episode with you guys, I wanted to be locked in and be like, I don't know what's going to happen. You guys have at least 40 minutes more information than me, and you hinted a little bit, but that being anything spoilery, it just it only gets weirder. Which is kind of what you sign up with the show.
I don't know if 40 more minutes in the show puts us at much of an advantage to like understand. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
The next episode, there's some information. But yeah.
So you're 40 minutes more confused than I am. Yeah,
Bingo.
Not necessarily
Bingo.
More, less confused. Yeah. 40 minutes difference.
Yeah. There's a way in which there's this great quote in the 2nd episode where the OA is relating something, and she's like, what's his name? Homer's coach told him that knowledge is just a rumor until it lives in your body. And that's kind of what watching the show feels like. It's like, I think I understand.
I was going to put it in physics terms, where confusion is like acceleration. There's no such thing as deceleration. You can only accelerate forward, whatever direction.
Accelerate backward. Yeah.
So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The OA's weakness leaving the body. The more you watch the OA, the more you have watched the OA. I think to take that quote, Magellan, to actually apply it is like, the more of the OA you watch, the less of it you haven't watched.
Yeah.
That's actually all you get out of it.
It's again, when you guys described it, you're like, guys, we've already watched 2 episodes, and now I'm up to 4. Or in my case 3. Like, it's already so much of it. But if it's going at this pace, it's both fast and slow at the same time. Like,
yes,
definitely. It's hitting you hard, but then it also is like, okay, but I think Allen, you mentioned a little bit lost, where you're like, I'm not lost, but you're getting more questions than answers constantly, and it feels like there's too much groundwork being set up.
Yeah.
So hopefully. Just from the first line on Wikipedia of how everybody reacted whenever it got canceled, but how people reacted, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be emotionally prepared for that, I guess. I guess this season is 17 under 17, I guess is what this season is.
Yeah, we've watched an eighth of this show now. We've watched an eighth of the OA.
Yeah.
I know, Magellan. I know, sweetheart. Don't worry.
I don't think you guys brought it up in last episode, because I only listened to your coverage, of it this morning. But did you guys clock that she was on Community? I'm asking Magellan in particular.
Who was she on Community?
I looked it up.
So she was Britta's, thinks that Britta's a lesbian, who Britta thinks is a lesbian, and they can't admit it because they don't want to be rude.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not prude. Right. And it turns out that she really didn't even like Britta. So
I posted that image for you.
That hat. I see the image. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
If it's not too late, can that just be my profile and send me a video? It's just every time you guys ask me a question, I'm confused. Show that picture, please.
Show Marling on Community.
Show Paige being confused. And her friend's sexual identity. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited to talk about these episodes. This is such a weird show. Speaking of gay people, Sal Bob Maglish, half of the creative force behind the OA, I guess. My girlfriend, who I just found out is a huge Vampire Weekend fan, which is why I know that she's the love of my life and everything's gonna go well. Was like,
I forgot again that he's related to
Rostam.
somebody from Vampire Weekend.
Right? Yeah,
They're brothers, and they're both gay. Two
That's
gay
nice.
Persian guys. That rocks. I just think that makes me happy.
As a brothers is nice.
Yeah, as a,
yeah,
as
it's not Brenda's two gay dads. It's
two gay brothers. Just as a queer Arab, it makes me happy to see that. You know, I'm just like, that's great. I'm great. That's great. So, the OA. This week on Chatz OA, we watched Season 1, Episode 3, Champion, and that's what we watched with Pat. And after the break, we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 4, Away. Champion was written by Britt Marling and Dominic Orlando and directed by the aforementioned Salbat Manglish, and this aired along with all of Season 1, December 16, 2016. Magellan, what happened in Champion to the best of your ability?
In this episode, in the present day, a journalist approaches the family with an offer. At Haps, in the past, a bond is forged with Homer and the others as they hatch a desperate plan.
Yeah. Okay, actually, Magellan, I want to ask you. You've been holding things close to the chest a little bit. How did you feel about the Champion episode? How'd you feel?
I thought it was excellent. There's kind of like 3 threads happening in any given episode of the OA. One thread is the story that the OA is telling about how she got here. One thread is there's somebody in her group who's like more or less the focus of like a B plot, and then there's this third thread that's kind of like about her outside of that stuff. And for the most part, I think they're like jumping between those things really smoothly. There's like a little bit of, the stuff with the journalist where I'm like, wait, that's in the present or what is going on there? But I can already sort of see here by the 3rd episode, the time that they invested in having scenes where it's like, oh, she told us to meet here. Oh, she's telling us the story. Whoa, now we're cutting to the story, are paying off, because now in this episode you can cut from like Steve being mad in class to narration from the OA over a wide shot of some house somewhere, and you're like, got it, I know what's going on. So there's like this sort of, I don't know, this flow and efficiency to that you start to see here in Champion, that I think is really awesome and lets them get into some truly like terrifying scenes.
Yes.
By the end of this episode. Yeah. So
how about you?
Good.
What do you think about Champion?
I thought it was really fun. It was very much. I would say I'm the most interested in Basement Story. But because I think it's like that's the one that's progressing, because we know she gets that somehow, because it's 7 years to work with. And then, but the rest is more, character backstory and stuff like that. She said, I need 5 strong, heroic people who are flexible, people who can flip off of roofs. So I can't wait for that to pay off somehow, or he like saves the day by doing a free willy off of the semi-detached house. I don't know. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's being creepy and complimentary about her hair. Kept waiting for him to be like, why don't you smile more? I want to keep you in the basement. Like, I don't know. but no, I thought it was really good. Again, Magellan put it well, that it's like one's building the foundation, one's the through line, and one is more of like where the OA is at.
The rest. Yeah, I also, I want to come in here. I really, really liked it. I think episode 3 was like fun, like just popcorny and like interesting, and we're building, and we're like, this is good. This is great storytelling. This is a great 3rd episode. We've got our setup, just like action beats, character beats. I'm so excited to talk about it in relationship to episode 4, because Kelly and I watched most of this episode together today. Actually, I rewatched it. She was watching it. She's catching up for the pod, and she was like, I like the story. I think that the relationships they're building are good, but like, I don't understand how all of this has happened in like a month in the past, and like where does the 7 years come from? And I was like, it's almost like they're gonna answer that really soon. They're gonna have to, and that's gonna be their biggest challenge with the past storyline is being like, and they do. I'll tell you, they answer in episode 4, but it's like that is the biggest question mark. Is like you're doing all this setup, but you didn't explain the part where 7 years go by. So I'm curious how she and also like other listeners feel about the way everything leapt forward there. But yeah, this episode by itself is like great setup. I was very invested in the past storyline. I don't have like strong feelings about, I mean, obviously Chatz alum Rosalind Chow, Keiko O'Brien is our investigative journalist here.
I was waiting to bring that up. Yeah,
of course. 2 Chatz alums in this episode, by the way, at least. Because also one of the prisoners is from the show that we'll talk about. We'll get there, but let's talk about Keiko O'Brien first. Let's talk about Rosalind Chow's character, because once again we're returning to the BJ's, the warehouse store where all the plot happens in the present day. And she comes up to Nancy, OA's mom, and is like, hey, I wrote this book about this other kid, Jamie, who also went through a real big trauma and a tragedy, and like I'm not a sensationalist, I'm gonna help him. Nancy's immediately like, fuck that, I'm not interested. And they invite her over to dinner out of kindness, and because she promises not to hurt them and to help them get financially compensated. Small detail that I love, the dinner that they have is Little Caesars. They like showcase the crazy bread.
Oh, okay, I saw the square pizza pieces. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but yeah.
That was crazy bread. It's crazy. Okay. It's like cheese bread from Little Caesars. It's a great little thing there.
So I like the detail of like, what does Keiko have in her shopping cart that she's pretending to shop while she's stalking her, and it's like a thigh master and sunglasses or something. Like, it was kind of just random.
That's all you need.
I was like, what is that? Yeah, what is that? Yeah.
I've noticed this show has a lot of like little background details that are really characterful and fun, that are like just hidden.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail. Yeah,
especially, we'll talk about this when we get back to Hap's compound. There were a ton of little things that I was like, whoa, that I caught that on the rewatch. I didn't catch that on the first watch. Like, did y'all notice that the Hap bought the OA, or bought Prairie at the time, a sensor that tells you when a cup is full, so that when you're filling a drink, you don't overfill it.
I did notice that, so that they can pour it and not overfill it.
And she also still spills the coffee at the end of episode 3.
Well, at the end, and that didn't really pay off, but I was curious. I think it's just because she was so nervous,
clumsy and nervous. Exactly, that's all
she was going to do it. Yeah, but it just that a little bit more, just a little bit more detail. Yeah.
I don't feel like we get a ton about that, but it's mostly the OA being like, I'm just not interested in this. I don't feel ready to open up, and I don't think you can help me or get what you want out of me, what you got out of Jamie, because my story isn't over. Like, I'm still in the middle of my trauma. You helped a kid who like got over it, or like, his story is finished. How did we feel about all of that stuff?
I mean, I think it helps us to see another dimension of like, who wants a piece of the pie. Like, this story is just going to bring in a lot of grifters and kind of like vulture types, and probably some well or better intentioned people. Like, this journalist, it seems like what she's saying is genuine, and it seems like she really does think that she can provide some kind of a service and benefit from it herself.
Right.
But I think it's helpful for us to understand, like, or to see the OA in the parts of the story that she's in complete control of and is telling, where she's like as high status as possible, and she's sort of shaping this idea of like what it means to be a helper, and then to also see her in these kind of family scenes or scenes with other people like the journalist character, where she's a bit lower status or just kind of on the back foot, not sure who to trust, and everybody is speaking that same language of like, I want to help you, that she's using to talk about these very real things of like these people I care about are being held captive in a basement somewhere, and I want to save them.
Yeah.
And then this journalist is like, let
At
me
least
help
Homer.
you by making a lot of money selling your story. Yeah, at least Homer's down there. So
That's the only one I can recall that the OA has mentioned is specifically like what she's looking for.
yeah, she's been a little cagey about not mentioning anybody else still being there, which is
I have to
curious,
imagine that
but-
means that they have died. They died in the within the 7 years.
Hmm.
But also
Yeah,
they
I
don't
or
die.
she knows they're okay, or she knows
Oh,
they're
maybe
okay.
they got out. Maybe.
True.
They got out. It was Homer that like sacrificed himself, or like he's like,
Yeah.
I'll stay behind so you can go. Again, I don't know anything. I'm just speculating. I
Yeah,
think
that's
she
plausible.
was like, she didn't want, like, they cut it out, but she didn't want the book because she's like, you don't even have a YouTube page, and then like, get out. Like that was it. It's
Your brother-
2016. Get out.
Yeah, your brother pointing out how funny it is, by the way, in our Discord, that like when someone says go on YouTube, it's like, yeah, just go to the front page of YouTube. You'll find the thing. It's like,
Yeah, you'll find
You
the
just
eyeball
click that.
video on the front page. Yeah.
just click the thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I always struggle to trust this type of character in these stories who's like, I got you, like, I'm going to listen to you. But, like, if her goal is genuinely to help, to rescue whoever is left, or to just, like, give money to the family, then, like, more power to her, you know? I am curious where that pays off.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
But
supposed
it's
to
suspicious.
trust her
Yeah.
unilaterally, I don't think, because when Prairie first met Hap, I mean, how different was Hap from the way that this lady seems? So, like,
Right.
how can you really know who is a genuine actor versus, and even once Hap is like mask off, Jason Isaacs is still doing a really amazing job with this
Yeah.
performance where you're like, God, you really seem empathetic, and then you like do and say shit that is beyond the pale, that is just like the most horrific way of treating people.
Yeah.
So there's something there of like someone can seem so completely believably caring, and you're still like, I don't know what to make of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking that like it couldn't have just been he heard a whoosh in and a whoosh, or whoosh out then whoosh in. Like that can't. I mean, maybe that's all we ever learn, but like, is that his whole motivation that would put him this far? Like, I have to think
Right.
that it was like he lost someone. Like he didn't have a near-death
Something like
experience,
that, yeah.
but he's envious of those who do because they know something he wants to know, obviously. And
Yeah, right.
but maybe he had a personal connection with someone who didn't come back.
Oh, sure.
Because
That
he was
makes
an
sense.
ER. He was an ER.
Anesthesiologist, I think, was the
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I knew the
thing.
word. I can never say it. But there was someone close to him that he lost, and that put him over it. You know?
I
That
want
feels
to
plausible to me.
totally. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's up with what's her name. What's Rosalind Chow's character? Patricia Noller. We'll see what's up with Patricia soon. I'm sure the present timeline is like going at a pretty steady clip. I don't feel like it's dragging at all. Meanwhile, just finishing up
The
with present day.
fact that they meet every night, it's going at a steady pace.
And it's
One day
implying
after
that
the
like
other.
we're not even seeing all of the meetings. It's just like, yeah, they happen, they keep going, like we're going right through it. It's flying along.
Okay.
Staying in the present timeline, Betty, is it Betty or Betsy, the teacher? Let me get some names
I
correct.
think it's Betty.
It's Betty. Yeah, Betty Brodrickbaum is
Yeah.
BA. She's listening to voicemails in her
Yeah.
car like a diva, speaking of background details, throwing back a monster like a fucking champ.
Oh
and a
my
man-
god. Oh my god.
Drinking a
I thought it was.
monster.
Honestly, I thought it was like a Guinness. I thought it was a alcohol.
Yo!
I had to go back,
Oh
and I was
my
like
God.
just smashing back, like I was, But yeah, again, I before we started recording, I told you that I rewatched it with the audio description on, and watched it blind, and it was like she drinks an energy drink. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yes. It's not a white monster, which is like objectively the best flavor of monster. It's like, I think it's a green monster, whatever.
Yeah, the sugar-free white one.
Yeah.
Mm.
So she's listening to voicemails. I think this is so sad. This teacher, before the
Mhm.
school day, just listens to voicemails. Many of them are a man named Rod Spencer calling about her brother's estate. We'll hear more about this a little bit in episode 4, but We also hear voicemails from the brother, whose name is Theo. He calls her Otter. He says, "Hey, Otter, just checking in. I hope you're well." And it's a short voicemail, but she listens to it over and over and over again. So Betty is grieving a family member. Something has happened with this man, Theo, and he's dead. And this guy, Rob, really, really wants to help her with her brother's estate. That's, I think, all there is for her story in episode 3.
No, there's one other little thing.
Yeah. The drawing the cue. Okay, that's the next scene. Yeah.
It's like,
she's folding space and time in a thong.
Yeah. It's like having been a teacher, that moment was like, the one thing is the monster in the car before school. It's like, okay, we are understanding kind of like the mood, the caffeine. And then the way that she comes into the classroom and someone has drawn, I guess, her face on
listen to the description for the episode.
How is it? How do they describe
very
it?
curious about how it's described.
It's like someone has illustrated a caricature of the what's her
Betty Broderick Allen.
BBA.
BBA. She's squatted in a thong, like.
She's like a music video vixen with like a big butt and a thin waist, and she's like
exactly,
throwing it back, but it's her face.
And the way that that Phyllis Smith, right? That's her name.
Yeah,
Phyllis Smith. The way that she does this reaction is so layered and great. It's not like disgust only. There's a little bit of shock. There's a little bit of, actually it's pretty good caricature work, like the face. I respect the artistry of it a little bit. And then it's like somebody's trying to communicate something, like all of that's happening. And then it's such a thing that a teacher would do to be like, well, this is a situation that I have never been prepared for, and I need to make up a response to. I guess I'm going to draw a box around it, like a cube or something, and just kind of sit here and stare at the drawing. That was so brilliant. And then Steve comes in, he's like, okay, I'm going to go now. I'm not sure what this is, but
because I think she suspects that he did it, so she says like, "I stuck my neck out for you at the teacher conference." He's like,
it seems like it.
He's like mad about it. Seems angry this episode.
Yeah.
What can you do? He's just pissed off.
I suspect, I think in a real setting, because she seems like the kind of teacher she would like. I know probably 3 names in my classroom who have this artistic skill to draw this, and like who are on my names list, because that wasn't like a doodle. That was like a much more detailed illustration,
a piece of art.
I think it's like you could that's a piece of art, like. And it looked to me like permanent marker, like there was very fine tip that wasn't dry erase.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how to get rid of it, but she would have to like really go,
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Apparently,
if you draw over permanent marker with a dry erase marker,
that's correct.
You can.
I've tried that.
Exactly.
It does work.
Just a little tip for the folks out there.
And also, it's also the same way because I'll draw things on my dry erase, my whiteboard, and then I'll like leave it there for like months, and then I go to like, oh, it's not coming off. You have to kind of redo it.
Yeah.
So even dry erase marker becomes permanent marker
if you leave it, you let it sit on there.
If it dries enough,
The last scene of the present day is one of the funniest scenes of the OA. By the way, it's the scene where Steve is in alternative school. And in physics class, goes into alternative school. The teacher doesn't give a fuck. It's like some TA who doesn't care. He's like, sit down. The computer tells you what to do. And it's like this dumb tutorial where I'm going like, "Hi, welcome to the program. Click to proceed." And he's like, "Oh, fuck this. I hate literally doing any of this." There's a scene of a girl who can tell that the guy across from her is looking at her breast. So she like throws water on her, takes Steve's water, throws it on herself, gets up, leaves, throws the water bottle at, I think, Steve or at the kid. And then the guy just goes at the teacher, and he just goes, "Yeah, it's 2 more weeks. That's another month. Yeah, it's like 2 more weeks. All right, fuck you. You're gonna stay in detention for longer." It's kind of an interesting picture of like detention.
You forgot the best line of the whole episode.
What is it?
He goes, "That's another week." And she goes, "That's how long it takes for you to get a fucking hard on." I was rolling. It's so funny. So funny. Right away she just says it and leaves.
She's ready. Yeah.
And then he puts the teacher's like puts his earbud in like,
all right.
You got me on that one. It's a good zinger.
Okay. You're coming back. Yeah, that was.
I don't think that girl must be a character, but I would love it if that girl was a character.
Oh, maybe. Anything can happen.
Or just a recurring background. I don't know. It's
sure.
just so funny.
Yeah, I think she'll probably be back. I'm guessing we're setting this space up as a place for Steve to like do some processing and thinking and kind of. I think he needs a space where he can be brand new to everybody around him to start to try to be different. So I think we'll probably see her again, is my guess.
Yeah, his reputation doesn't precede him here as much as it does everywhere else. He'll just be another one of the detention kids. Maybe it's a Breakfast Club vibe. Who knows? There is a scene where Steve and French fight. Sidebar. Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
My quick sidebar is the actor who plays Steve. I don't know if you guys looked him up much.
Young Dexter.
He's going to be, young Dexter, but he's going to be the new James Bond, and they have a new James Bond video game trilogy coming out in the spring. Oh, huh? And I'm going to play that game. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to punch people in the throat. Like that's my only move. just I'm MacGruber. I'm just like pow pow.
Inspired by Hitman and Uncharted. What? This isn't coming out. Yeah, it's May this year.
Okay. Oh, it comes out in May. In May. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Godspeed to him.
I'm just like, punch neck.
Patrick Gibson plays James Bond. You're right. Oh my God, that's video game James Bond. Cool. Wow. Look at that. Magellan, Jim, I'm gonna put him on blast right now. Friend of the podcast, Jim, texted me at 10 p.m. on Friday night, like 10:30 p.m. And he goes, "Did you know that the Pokemon Inteleon is based on James Bond?" And I was like, "Yeah, Jim, that's what that character is." And he goes, "How?"
Yeah, I learned that when the game came out.
I learned that when the game came out like 5 years ago. He's like, "You knew this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I knew this." He goes, "Okay." Inteleon, for those who don't know, is a lizard who looks like James Bond. It's just that's the whole gimmick. Anyways, so that's our present day. We roll back to the past where the rest of the story is gonna come up, and Homer is telling a girl named Rachel, who there's our other Chatz alum, y'all. Did you catch who Rachel is? Pat, you did. But John, did you realize who Rachel is?
I saw it in your notes.
Yeah, I realized it this morning. I was like, so wait, do you know who it is, Pat?
No, I didn't caught that. No.
She's Sharon Van Etten, who is a really great singer. I'm very fond of her music, and she was one of the bar singers in Twin Peaks: The Return. So she's been on Chatz.
Twin Peaks: The Return.
All right, you haven't watched one of the best shows ever made. That's fine.
I got about halfway through season 2, and then my girlfriend wanted to watch it.
There, that's a hard part to get out of. I get it. Yeah. You guess you didn't roll the dice, baby.
I had to watch a season and a half backwards.
Brutal. If you ever get to it, there's like a really cool every couple episodes they'll do a musical bit, and there's one where this woman, Sharon Van Etten, who's one of my favorite singers, does a great musical number. And as soon as I realized that, guys, I was like, wait, of course they made the singer do a song in the episode. That's so corny. Yes. I like it. Yeah. She's an incredible voice, but I heard her sing before I realized who it was, and then I was like, wait, yeah, of course you get a singer to do the song part. Are you kidding me? Okay, I like that.
I mean, I wonder how she feels now being cast multiple times to
for that,
like sing to create hope in a creepy place.
Yeah.
It's like multiple shows have been like, that's your lane, is everything is really scary and you're gonna like create some eerie calm in the eye of the storm. But it works. It's a beautiful moment here.
It is. I want to get there though quickly. So Hap is letting the OA out. He's letting her out because, again, this guy is like weird and like really obsessed with his plan, but also has some levels of empathy. So he lets OA out for some sunlight because she's like, I'm blind. Blind people need to like feel the sun. Like my senses need to work. She goes to the kitchen and we start getting a sense that like she is going to look for escape because she finds a knife. And you're like, Is it that simple? Does she just stab him now, and then the rest of the 7 years is her hanging out, like being a bohemian? No, she cuts some bread. And the scene is so quotidian as she proceeds to make a couple of chicken sandwiches with mustard and mayo. And that's it. And some like spring mix.
Honey mustard.
I thought it was Dijon. You're right. It is honey mustard, which is funny because later one of the guys goes like, "Why'd you have to fuck it up with mustard?" It's like,
the second funniest line in the episode. Yeah.
So she makes some sandwiches, and then Hap is like, "Yeah, make more.
Like mustard.
Have half of mine, and then make some for the friends. I don't care. You're allowed. They're allowed to eat. I won't make you eat, and then not them." And then the guy goes like, "Why'd you fuck it up with mustard?" But because we realize Hap is trusting her, the gang starts suggesting that she gets things from upstairs. Specifically, they set her on a quest to find Homer's championship ring, which he left in the bathroom when he got taken, and some sort of bill, because you can send a bill back, and they'll send the ring with the bill and explain who they are, and that'll be great. Homer explains his backstory, which is that he was given $500 to do this study that Hap brought him into, which he was going to hope to give to Mandy, his baby's mother, and like be a good dad. And now he's gutted because he feels like he's going to be seen as an absentee father if she doesn't know that he's still alive and didn't just run away or something, like he's been kidnapped. So how did we feel about Homer's backstory? Do we like believe this all feels good? We're liking the characterization of Homer so far.
I did like him. I was interested of. I guess it's because he's in college. He's not making any money off of like being a football player, right? So that's why he needs $500. Because I was like, he's gonna have money soon. Because I mean, I interpreted it. He came back from his near-death experience with like super football player abilities. So I was like, dude, you don't need $500. You
join the NFL.
Finish school, join the NFL, and then you're automatically $500 is nothing compared to that. So I'm curious if there's more to how he got there, if the $500 really was for that, why he wanted to send the ring so much. Like,
I think the ring is undeniably him. That's how they know it's him for sure.
It's undeniably him, but like, I mean, I was already saying it watching this episode, and then the people who gathered here in the story are like, the ring would like it's a bill. You're not going to have a giant ring inside of an envelope. That's not going to get noticed.
True.
But I was also curious of why the OA was telling that story anyways. Because I mean, why the OA does anything is a mystery. It could be just, I need to convey to you how desperate we were, how hard we were trying, and how we were coming together to work together. You know, I think that's what I took from that. But it was like, because they were immediately like, that doesn't sound like it was going to work. And she's like, well, maybe, but no, that ring.
We tried.
That ring is down a $5,000 yard hit or whatever, which was like kind of how I knew that she was going to come to a precipice, like a cliff. Because she said, "Oh, the ring fell down." So I was like, "Oh, she's up high. She knows that."
I thought she just meant the sewer system.
Like, that's where the water. Well, I was like, as soon as she got outside, I was like, "Oh, like that height. Like she knows that height."
That's a great catch.
I mean, she could just make that. She could just make up that height. But I was like, "Oh, I think there's going to be like a cliff here." Yeah.
Good catch. Good catch.
To jump to the end of the episode. But specifically for Homer, I do believe that I feel like there's definitely more there, like because again, $500. I don't think that kid needed that. He must have had other problems. I was thinking that he like literally like owed his ring to like a gambling debt or something. I don't know. That was going to be bigger. But I mean, I love him in Brooklyn. I thought he was great in that. So you know.
John,
did you
Homer
see Brooklyn
thoughts?
with?
I did not. Sorry.
I've not seen.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay. He's lovely. He's a nice little Italian boy. This is a show. It's like watching a Tim Robbins project. It's a show of. Oh, there's another person I know from.
Oh, I'm in Saoirse Ronan. Oh, I should watch this. This looks fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, you would love that. It's sweet. Yeah.
Okay. Homer, homie.
Yeah, I mean, my first Homer thought is like, it's very bold of this show to try to get me to take the name Homer seriously in any year after the 80s. It's like,
but the next episode it explains why his name is Homer. He goes on an odyssey.
Okay, that was gonna be my next, like, my guess.
Homer goes on an
but,
odyssey. The next episode is the Homer-centric episode.
Well, because I wasn't sure. No, okay, I guess I was thinking, did she name him Homer? But like, in her story, because again, it's through her storytelling. But we see her like search for the name Homer.
Yeah, and there was the TV news report.
So that doesn't really work. It's just, but I think I'm with Magellan. It's like credulity of like someone would name, because he's not that old where someone didn't name their kid Homer when The Simpsons was on TV.
True.
Right. that's a good
I
point.
I went to college with a guy named Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson was definitely a big star already at that point. The parents had noticed this.
Interesting.
So it's this thing. A choice was made.
Yeah. But setting that aside, I love that we've heard so much about Homer already. So and because of his name, I think a little bit, he has this kind of like mythological quality in the OA's telling of the story in the first 2 episodes. And when we meet him and he's just this like loser who's like kind of, I don't know, there's something about him where you're like, what? You're Homer?
Did you think he was going to be Wayne from Leftovers level?
Oh, like just a charlatan.
Wait, who's Wayne?
Holy Wayne.
Oh no, but the hug. He's like he healed me with hugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're set up to feel like Homer is gonna have this sort of like aura about him or something, and I think it's great that he doesn't yet, because then you're like, okay, this guy is gonna get from being this kid who's all kind of scrambled up, whose priorities are in weird places, understandably, like he's been trapped here for who knows how long. And I think this is a good kind of like character study in when you're isolated like this, held captive, and your mind's got to cling to something. So he sort of decides like, okay, it's this, there's the ring upstairs, and I'm going to send the ring in the mail as soon as I can, and that's going to like fix everything in my situation. And I really like kind of that, meeting him on those terms and understanding who he was at the start of this story and how far he must come in like thinking differently about the situation they're in order for the OA in the present to be like, we got to save this guy. Like he matters so much to me. He's so important.
I think you see a hint of that where he's talking to her, like he helps her a lot with like the jumping jacks, but he's also like, he's like, believe that you can stretch, you can expand. Like he's teaching her how to like push herself in these ways and recombobulate herself when she's lost. I think he's got that. And like, again, I started off with he came back with super, football powers, but maybe he came back with something else.
He's kind. He's empathetic.
Yeah. Like maybe he's just the ultimate empath. Like that might have been just enough.
Yeah, I like that part of his characterization that you're describing too, where all we know about him going into this is he's like a football star. And then we see him start to angle his understanding of like the human body and his understanding of how to regulate yourself, or like kind of somatic whatever, to be like, okay, I'm gonna be somewhat of a leader down here because I have like this skill set and this understanding of like the physical self that is beneficial to other people. So it's cool to see the show be like, he's a football guy, but he's not like, what are you talking about? You got an NDE? What? He's like,
it's like kind of like an STD sort of thing. What?
Yeah, exactly. they're not doing that. So I like that, and I really like, the other thing I really like is how fixated he is on the idea that his kid is a boy, and like how much it says about him that he's so determined to not be an absentee father to a son, when, because it tells you like, oh, was that your dad or something? Like, is that what's happening for you?
Yeah.
And then Prairie's Prairie's like, how do you know it's a boy? And he's like, what? And she says, what if you have a daughter? And he's like, are you listening to me? Like, what are you talking? Of course I have a son.
You're seeing the forest for the trees, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to go
like
back.
that.
I would have to go back to check, but when they showed him on the news, on the YouTube, and when they show him in the newsreel like waking up from his coma, I don't. The family next to him, I think it was like a mom and a sister or something. I don't know if I saw a dad, but again, I'm trying to remember. I wasn't paying that much attention. But your point, like there might be somewhat clear there. Like it might be in that first episode when she searches for him on YouTube.
I really like how the show encourages you to keep all of it in your head. Like it's this format for us is working really well because I'm like, oh, there was a scene from like 4 episodes ago that's already becoming more relevant, and like the threads are like connecting from way back, which is really cool. Yeah. You brought up one earlier, Pat, that I wanted to touch on with this next scene because you said like, why does the OA tell the people this story? You know, this specifically this whole part about the attempted escape and then the bathtub and then throwing the ring against the current, because she gets it. She after a big incident. Well, let me talk about the incident and then we'll talk about like what happens with the current and why I think she tells that story, because she returns to the story to the kids and she says, well, I found out that Hap takes sleeping pills and also that he gets a monthly food delivery. This guy's got a Peapod subscription on deck. And she asks him to order some ingredients. Hap is like a very incompetent captor, if I'm being honest. Like he's like pretty easily tricked, you know.
I saw your comment on the Discord. It's the stock.
Yeah, I know it's the stock.
In the room question. I was like,
she didn't literally put tomatoes in the soup, but like read what if it's in vegetable stock, dude. That's like in every vegetable stock has tomatoes in it. Because she asked him to order ingredients for a stew. Her father taught her to make. She crushes up some sleeping pills, puts them in an Altoids tin, and we get this like classic. You've seen this a million times in every movie. The like, I'm making you a poison meal, and you go, no, you eat it first, and you're like, fuck, is the OA gonna poison herself? Oh my god. He put the fresh parsley. He went out to get the parsley stuff from his thing. He makes her eat. She only takes a small bite, and then they flip the script on you, and he eats it. And he starts choking, and you're like, oh my god, that's not how sleeping pills work. And he goes, what's in this? Yeah. And she does give us a great recipe. I'd love if like Binging with Babish made this soup. But she's like, you know, like vegetables, sour cream, vegetable stock. And then he looks at the can, and he's like, yeah, it has tomatoes. I'm definitely allergic to tomatoes. Go get my EpiPen. He unlocks a cabinet, gets his EpiPen, doesn't work. Former pharmacy tech here, just want to say, always check your EpiPens if you have them. This can happen and happens often enough that it's worth checking. They'll give you a free replacement if you notice that yours doesn't work. And he says, go get the other one from the bathroom. She runs to the bathroom. She finds Homer's ring. She finds the backup EpiPen. Oh, the ring falls in the tub. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a whole woman in the tub. And the water's purple. Yeah. Ugh. This just never, it never lets up. This is where I was like, oh my god, this episode, like, for the rest of it, its runtime does not let up. So she, like, fishes out the ring from the water because she dropped it. And then he comes in and he's like, yeah, she was dead before you got here. Her name's August. They said her name is August. What's going on there?
Because that's when she came. That's when she arrived.
That was the month she arrived. Does she not talk? Is the implication that August was mute?
Yeah. That's how I took it, because they couldn't learn her name. So they called her that. And Rachel's like, she needs me. Like she needs me. And I think it was like, because she couldn't talk, Rachel would talk for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Something interesting going on there.
Yeah.
But Homer finds
a girl named August is gonna have purple hair, so that makes sense.
Oh my god. Boo. Perry finds a bill. She gets to the Homer. He puts in a thing. I love the scene where they all write on it, and they're like, "No, write my address. No, write my brother's address." And he's like, "Your brother's in a wheelchair. You can't."
Yeah.
And then all they have to do, because they have this little. This is the best detail about Hap's little fucked up compound, is that there's a current that runs through all of their cells, and she has to throw it against this or catch it in the fast current, and she misses it. And then the best part is that the guy that everybody hates, the shitty guy, it passes her, and they're like, okay, the next guy go catch it. He's asleep. He's like, huh? What? Boom, gone. Out of here. Missed it.
I did not like that. I did not like that. I was like, I understand it needed to fail because that's what the story was, but it was like, what else has he got to do in this moment other than watch?
You seriously are asleep? Your chins, or you seriously sat down?
The only thing that matters.
It's not that he's asleep. He's like laying down, and it's like you seriously are laying down. Like we're in the middle of the thing that's gonna get you like freedom, and you're like taking a nap. Come on, she's blind, bro. She's gonna miss it. It happens. You don't have an excuse. Yeah. So it's gone. Our chance of freedom is gone. And this is why I was like, wait, why would she tell this? That's just a sad story. But as you said, Pat, like right away, Homer she starts crying. She's breaking down for like a day or two. They imply that she's had like a long breakdown. And then Homer has to be like, okay, I need you to like feel your body. Like move, stand up, flap your arms. This does a couple of things. Kelly made a great point. This is a guy who plays sports and has been taught a lot about like body and like being present for physical activity. So he's used to exercises like this, which is very characterful. And she's blind. Moving your hands lets you kind of like feel out the boundaries of your space and be like, oh, I'm actually not, the glass ceiling is not here. I like have ceiling. I have more freedom than I thought. She literally can't tell yet that there's this much like space. She could like feel around, but it feels good, I think, as someone who can't see, to like be able to extend your arms all the way out and not be afraid to hit something. So I love this little moment. I think that's ultimately why she tells them this story. Is like, if she's trying to tell them who Homer is, he's someone that said, hey, at least we tried. Yes, we fucked up our one chance at escape. We'll find another chance. We're going to keep working towards this. This is like explaining who Homer is, basically.
Yeah, and I think it's an episode about like the group going from these individual goals to arriving at a collective goal, because Homer starts like, oh, you need to get my ring. You need to send my ring to my kid. That's the most important thing. He has like the letter in hand and he's trying to write a message to his son, and everyone's like, dude, that you can do that later. Right now we need to escape and get out of here. And there's something about like that so completely and utterly failing, and there's no hope of him continuing to cling to this individual kind of like, if I just do this then everything's fine, that he can sort of surrender to like, okay, there's a group need and I'm gonna contribute to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need to let go of that to build on something else. Yeah.
We've built a collective. Let's work as a unit. And even like, this is where they're all like, what would you do if you were free? Rachel's like, oh, I want to like be with my sibling. She kind of like gives her backstory here really quickly. I think something about there's a car accident. Her brother didn't survive.
The one in the wheelchair. This is the incident. Yeah, he must have survived. I originally thought he
survived, but he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And she wants to sing for him, so she sings. I like that she looks away and everyone's like, oh, she's not going to sing, but then she just needs to look away to sing. That's a good little characterful moment. She sings a beautiful song. Sharon Van Etten has an amazing voice. I've been saying this. And then we get the big attempt at escape that concludes the episode. So it's big escape time. Prairie's doing her usual rounds upstairs. Hap is yapping about who the hell knows, you know, the greater good, something, I do this for you guys. It's all about blah, 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 yada, yada, boop. Prairie takes the opportunity to push Hap down the stairs. Immediately, everyone's like, get the fuck out of here, go! So she sprints. This moment that scared the shit out of me, where she taps the frying pan against the glass, like, can I break this? Breaks it, sticks her foot out, has no clue how high that jump is.
How far?
And literal leap of faith. And survives, runs. We're in the woods. We're getting some implication. There's mountains nearby. We sprint all the way past the woods. There's a cliff. She stops at the cliff. I'm impressed that she was able to read that there was a cliff edge there without falling. That's awesome.
It was the sound. I think it was the sound.
The wind, probably.
The sound turned up. Like, I was listening in my headphones.
Yeah.
And the sound turned up, like the wind, as you said, when she got closer to it.
Because John, you made a good point. John, you made a good point last week.
She also heard the. She also heard the creepy version of "What a Wonderful World" playing in the background, and so she knew that something bad was about to happen.
Yeah, Sharon, can we actually also get you to do like a creepy movie trailer version of "What a Wonderful World"? Thanks, Sharon.
And
you sing all the other kids, like all the other kids with.
Yeah.
Just anything, anything to make it creepy.
And she gets bopped in the back of the head with a rifle butt, and that's where our episode blocks out. I mean, ends.
Yeah.
I understand why, but I didn't. I mean, again, on a technical, that she doesn't fall down the cliff. I don't think
She falls
gets
backwards.
hit, but the angle. Yeah, what other way could she fall? Because she's like facing away from it, and it hits her, and it's like.
I imagine he would have caught her. If she fell forward, he would have like caught her. Also, he's not trying to kill her.
I think it was just because they chose to have it hit her in the face as opposed to what he would do is hit her across the face. Like,
oh,
you're trying
sure.
to not break someone's nose, you're trying to knock them out. That's what I imagine. But whatever, that's a technical problem I have. That's all.
Yeah, it was a little goofy. Concluding thoughts on the episode. Pat.
Well, wasn't there another question that we were going to come back to? I thought there was, but no, yes, it was. I guess we could cover it because we were like, well, let's talk about purple goo first.
I think purple goo is just because there's chemicals. I think you put chemicals to preserve her body. That's all.
Yeah,
that is.
exactly. Yeah, I want to preserve her body. Yeah.
That's what.
But no, I think we all talked about how I haven't had a bad episode. It's only 3 episodes in, but this was delivered as a binge show, right? Drop them all at once. I think it's. I think you would say it aired on this day, but I think it's more accurate to say they all dropped on the same day. They didn't air. But this is the kind of show that I would keep me watching again and again. I think I only stopped because I was like, I don't want to know what's happening in 4 whenever I'm guesting on the podcast. But I'm most invested in the compound stuff, secondary. What the OA is dealing with maybe this book deal possibly happening, or what the world is going to interact with her about. I'm just curious to where the show goes, honestly.
It's cooking. It's cranking. John, concluding thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this episode shows. I guess we saw it a little bit in episode 2, but this episode really lays out like this is how this show can pivot into kind of psychological thriller. This is what sort of action sequences or like higher intensity sequences look like.
Yes.
And I think it accomplishes them really well. And I like that what the show's able to do, because, I think Britt Marling especially is so attentive in her performance to like, the way that the show watches her move around the kitchen to prepare the sandwiches for the first time, and we get these like close-up shots of her pushing the backs of her hands to find where the counter is and that kind of thing. The show has that attentiveness to detail so that it can then use that same attentiveness in these moments, like when she's climbing out the window of the broken glass and you see her like stepping on the windowsill, and it has that visual language to do that, or to do what Pat was describing, where like the sound comes up when we're about to go over the cliff. So yeah, I think we're just seeing the patience of the show pay off, because now it can use those tools to do all sorts of different things. And it's great. It's really good.
I think it's very well made. Really well made.
Yeah.
Did you have straight notes, John?
My extra thought I had was when I watched this, it feels, I mean, it's an original work, but it feels like almost like a YA adaptation, or more specifically, the young adult manga, like the Japanese novels, like the novellas they have.
Yeah, light novels.
There's that bridge. It has that, and to the point where I was watching this, I'm loving it, I'm appreciating it, but I was imagining like this could have worked really well as like as an anime. I've watched a number of like contemplative, spiritual, anime movies that I'm like, this is in line with that. So I'm curious if she was inspired by that that medium.
Possibly.
We'll have to see how weird. If we get tentacles in this show, I'll know she was inspired by anime. We don't. You don't know. Yeah.
We'll see.
You'll see.
Anything else?
I only have one stray note that we didn't mention, which was the OA is, I forget exactly what she says, but then Steve in the present day is like, huh, you sound like one of the poetry kids. And she's like, what?
What?
What is a poetry kid? What are you saying? It's I really
He has like no
This is
explanation. He's
where we
like,
put
just I don't
the-
know. Use metaphors. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
where we put up the picture of her with the hat on the community episode.
There it
We're
is.
the poetry kids. Pop.
But up.
With the hat. Yeah.
I got you.
Mhm.
It's in the video.
Mhm.
Pat, that was awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You find me on the Chatz Discord. That's where-
Yeah.
Good answer.
I do have another Discord that it's just me and Nick, and we put all of our worst jokes there to save you all from them. But,
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's just like where we exchange like twin memories. We're like, do you remember this? And then like it's just a spiral that would make no sense to anybody else. Or
Beautiful.
sometimes he has like, I think he brought it over to the Chatz Discord. He has a bot that he'll program to do like a TV station, like a playlist.
Oh,
And he'll
fun.
put that on,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's all a nostalgic list of things that we grew up watching and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It's all like a recreation of like a sci-fi channel in Toronto that doesn't exist
Mhm.
anymore.
Mhm.
So that's who I hang out. It's either Chats or it's literally called BOTF, the Discord, which is brothers of it's Brothers of Infinite War, but we try to change it a little bit.
Mhm.
But it's I don't have too much of a social media presence. I am on Bluesky, postman Pat. What is it? Bluesky.
Bsky.social.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, social. I am there. But I don't do much streaming anymore. My computer overheats, so just say hi to me on Chats. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a Chatzumss for us?
Yeah, I was gonna say because you guys got to go off to do an episode 4. I get
Uh-huh.
Chatzumss all to myself, so I'm gonna do 3 because there's 3 of us.
Whoa.
They're kind of blended. They're kind of blended. They're kind of blended.
Yes.
So again, I don't know. Maybe because I'm expecting maybe I'm gonna land on one that's been covered before.
That's fine.
Antiquing.
Oh, sure.
It's not just for old people. It's for young people who feel like being old.
Yes.
I'm pointing to my
caveat.
phone.
Absolutely. But it has that caveat of the warning of. At my point, I go antiquing with my girlfriend. We go to all the small towns around Ottawa, and they have all these antique shops. I think there's more antique shops than churches, which is fine by me. But but you have to feel old whenever you're like, look, an antique from my childhood, and then you're like, oh, so like I buy like stacks of comic books for like $2. I'm like, sweet, I'm finishing my collection, but I'm like, it's an antique, therefore I am an antique. That being said, my second Chatzumss is physical media.
Okay.
You guys are watching on an unnamed platform. Star Trek: The Original Series. It used to be on Netflix. They took it away. The unnamed platform took it away. Buy physical media while you can. Appreciate it. I've gotten back into vinyls. I've gotten books. This is part of my antiquing is finding those collections. Now I'm gonna have to be on the search to find Voyager and Deep Space Nine on DVD because now I can't watch it anywhere. I never thought I wouldn't be able to watch it, and they're gonna take that away. But so it's antiquing, find physical media, and I have forgotten my third one now, so I have 2.
Okay, we take that.
Oh, this is not a Chatzumss. I just remembered something I wanted to mention before. So I mentioned I can't remember if it was during or before the pod, but that I rewatched the episode with the descriptum. So I had it playing with I wasn't looking at the monitor. I had the window minimized so I could just only hear it. Trigger warning: whenever is eating the soup, it's so loud and disgusting. When that's the only thing you can hear, you can't see it. So nasty. He's like you can hear that he's got like a bit of onion or beet, and he's like, so brutal. like Alan, you remember I've too many times I've told you like I have to like skip 3 minutes in the podcast. It's like you'll be like eating something. I'm like I can't. If it's coming into the headphones, like I get wigged out. So
we don't eat on the podcast anymore, thankfully.
You don't, no, you don't. But yeah, my third Chatzumss is audible trigger warnings.
Sure.
Everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, thanks again for having me on. And thanks for choosing the OA. I went in blind. I was like, I just want to be on the podcast again. It was too late for me to ask to do Barbarella Valentine's commentary track. It was a little too late for that. But you know, and we're recording this a day after Valentine's, so like it's still a romantic atmosphere, you know.
True.
It's in the air,
Hold on, my sweeties here, you know, we're hanging out. So happy belated Valentine's. I was trying to do it like River Song. Sweeties. Yeah, but yeah, no, happy belated Valentine's and thanks for having me on. I'm glad 2 of us wore Star-themed sweaters. That's nice.
Stargate, Star Trek, and Rockstar.
And Stardew.
Pat, would you like me to play you out? Oh,
I would. Yeah, play me out with the most romantic thing you can think of.
Sure. Let me find my Valentine's song here. Here it is.
Thank you.
Hey! Bill and Marty here, wrapping up a beautiful President's Day. To George, Abe, and all the rest, here's a special song just for you.
I was working in the lab late one night when
Doggone it!
for my monster from his slab began to rise.
We'll be back to talk about away after this musical
To
break.
my surprise, he did the
You
monster
did
mash.
the OA match.
There you go.
Hello and welcome back to Chatz Away. It's a show where we are chats. We're watching the OA for the very first time. We watch 2 episodes a week, and this week we watched episode 4, season 1 of the OA, entitled Away. Alan, welcome back.
Thanks, pal. I just gasped early because the segue on the video version from the theme song to you was completely flawless. I couldn't have planned it any better, or I couldn't have timed it any better.
Wow.
So I'm just happy with myself. But
I feel great about that.
let's away and talk about the episode.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Sorry, I'm getting a little mic noise.
Cat talk, cat pod. Cat dog, alone in the world with a little cat dog. This is the cat dog segment where I vamp while Magellan. Okay, and we're back. Welcome back.
Okay, I think I fixed it. Cool. Yeah, so we watched season 1, episode 4, Away. It was written by Ruby Ray Spiegel, directed by Zal Batmanglij. It aired on December 16th, 2016. Alan, what happened in Away?
Magellan, in this episode, an agonizing dilemma gives away a new perspective on the group's plight. Homer resolves to find out what Hap's experiments are really about. Let's get into it. Why is she called the OA? Friend of the podcast, Arthur, has a guess. Do you want me to reveal what his guess is? The guess is said in this episode. It's Original Angel. Is it Original Angel? Is it away because she wants to be away from where she is? I think it's both. I think it's whatever you want it to be. What do you think the OA stands for?
I think I've looked it up and there's like an answer.
Oh, that's not fun.
So yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, that was like really condescending. I'm sorry. Can you make up an answer? Can you make wrong answers only?
To me, it's a moniker much like the public universal friend, who's one of my favorite 18th century historical figures. So I think it's this sort of like a name outside of names. And I'm going to say the A stands for acquaintance.
Okay.
The O stands for oh, it's like
Ouvra.
everybody's friend, like the overwhelming, our acquaintance.
Oh. You brought it home. You did it. You slayed.
Could be.
Okay, Magellan, for the second time in her life, the OA has died. What did you feel about this episode? How did you feel about it? What are your thoughts?
First of all, this was kind of the first episode where I was like, oh my God, wait, a new episode started? It was like a seamless, continuation from that cut at the end of episode 3 where she gets hit by the gun, but when Hap hits her with it, I should say. That cut from there to like, okay, now we're in the afterlife. I thought at first that this scene was the end of episode 3, which then kind of raises questions about like, where do you put beginnings and endings of episodes and whatever. It's kind of a separate thing. Also, while I'm on this tangent, I'm watching on a version of Netflix where I get ads. Do you have ads on your Netflix or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. So, are there moments where the episodes for you have like weird little hitches or like cuts that don't make sense?
There's like fades to black that I assume are where the ads are being put.
There's moments. It made me think because Netflix in 2016 there were no ads.
Correct.
So it's like, oh, because then these things were created not like terrestrial television show. Is terrestrial the word? Not like, network or cable television where they're edited to have ad breaks and you can just be like, oh, when we put it on streaming, we know where the ad breaks are because they are where they were when it aired. So instead it's some process of somebody's like beep, 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 beep. I guess this is the spot with an ad break. But then what's happening to me, and maybe it's just my phone is being weird, but it'll serve me an ad like at the beginning of the episode, but then later moments where there should be an ad break, instead there's like it almost like skips a second of the episode or something.
Oh.
And then I'll like go back and it like does it again. So I don't know. I'd be curious if anybody else is having that problem, but it just this kind of made me sad to think about this time where we were like, yes, TV like post advertisements where there is no beginning or end and you can kind of freely flow into the next episode. But now they're like the kind of that stuff is coming back into it, which sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot of breaks that I could see would get effed up by the pacing of the episodes for sure.
Yeah. But to answer your question of what I thought of the episode, I think this one is a really cool, interesting piece of the show where we start to not necessarily like answer things fully, but we start to feel more grounded in what's happening. And I think we get closer to things not being as mysterious to us anymore. And it's watching the show navigate that transition from like, okay, we're now seeing this. This is one of my favorite words, psychopomp, which is the word for a mythical figure who heralds you to the afterlife. We're now seeing this psychopomp for the second time. And it's like, okay, now this star-filled room that dazzled me before is familiar to me. I kind of know a little bit about what the rules are. How does the show handle not just showing us something unbelievable for the first time, but showing it to us for the second time and getting us to still care about it, not just because it's so novel, but because now we've like attached a set of meanings and expectations to it. And now we get more of like, well, what are HAPS experiments and what does it look like? And how do we start to manipulate that? And I think that the show handles that in a way where by the end of the episode, I'm sold on it. Definitely a lot of TV shows I think can fumble at this moment where it's like, oh, now it's a little too real. And
Yeah,
like,
now
I'm
you've
not
answered
happy
everything.
with the way that you're doing that. Yeah. But I'm curious if you felt the same way or if you were a little more mixed on it.
Sorry, I was, sorry, I'm so engaged in the WWE match that's happening behind you right now. This battle is crazy. They're all over each other.
Oh my God, there's like little slaps.
Yeah, for the audio listener, you gotta watch the video on Tuesday. Magellan's cats that they're fostering are like battling each other in the background, like really like play fighting, but it's like kind of intense. They've taken a break.
Well, and one of them, the best moment that just happened is he gets up a little bit on his hind legs and does like a tap slap to the other one's face, which feels like a move in like an MMA fight or something. Like, I'm gonna test your reflexes
Before I hit you hard.
with a little slap. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yes, I agree. I think it's like we're getting a lot of answers, which is satisfying in a show like this that could very easily just like withhold answers forever. Like, I was telling you, Kelly's biggest question, a lot of people's biggest question at the end of episode 3 is like, where do the years come from? And this episode's like, here's where the years come from. We are explicitly telling you why it took so long to do this. I struggle to believe that it would take this long, but I also haven't been in their situation. So I'm like, okay, this is like sort of doing this is a common story. So you do 1% thing, or like in the Count of Monte Cristo, right? He's like crossing out the individual days.
Count of Monte Cristo, yeah.
You could say it takes him a couple months to escape, but it feels more narratively satisfying that it took him years to escape. And I just, you could overthink about like, really, how long would it take to do this? Or how long would it take to figure it out? But like, it just feels narratively better to say, yeah, it took years. And the OA's narration confirms that it took years, period.
Yeah. I mean, there's also an extent to which like, how well is she tracking that time? It seems like she's like working in the house upstairs enough that she has enough of a sense of the passage of time, but she talks in the first episode, she has this quote where she says, there's nothing more isolating than not being able to feel time. So there is a sense in which it took years, but how many, and is it really like a month in between every time that Hap brings Homer upstairs or what? There's kind of like a looseness of the time, but the point, like you're describing, what this episode gets to is, okay, we're not gonna show you every minute of the 7 years. The point is not actually to completely flesh out that time. The point is that it is a long time, and that can be used to justify all sorts of things narratively, to get the characters information that they wouldn't be able to access the second time that they do this thing, to show something about their tenacity, their determination,
it's supposed to take a while. I think for the sake of time and expeditiousness, I will talk about the past timeline first, and then we can quickly touch on the present, because there's some fun stuff in the present, but it's mostly past stuff here that's like important. So as she mentions, this is the second time the OA has died. She sees her Arabic speaking, what did you call her earlier?
Psychopomp is the word.
Psychopomp, Katoon. I love that Britt Marling doesn't have any sort of accent, so she just says, Katoon, what's up? I was talking to Katoon. I love that. Katoon finds her a white dove. She says, eat this dove. It'll show you a way to fly free. To exist is to survive unfair choices. I see my dad through a window, but I can't be with him. I have to choose to either stay dead and be with him or to try and be free in the real world. So when she swallows the bird, it becomes a seed of light, and they say all 5 of you must work together to avert a great evil. And OA says, "Wait, we're 4 though," and she says, "You'll be 5 at some point. Don't worry about it. It'll make sense. You are the original," furthering Arthur's original angel theory and my original angel theory. Anyways,
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a sense of who you think the 5th could be?
I think it's Hap.
Yeah, I was also thinking it's Hap.
I think it's fun if it's Hap. I think like you don't make him this like almost likable unless you give him an opportunity to flip. Because we learned a lot about Hap's motivation in this one and how like he just wants to know things. He doesn't like he's not really that malicious. He's not coming out this from a place of evil. He's just like a desperate, obsessive need to understand and fail at understanding. So I think it would be narratively satisfying if it was Hap. Do you have a guess, or that's what you feel as well?
Yeah, I think that feels right to me, because when the OA then, or I guess she's not calling herself the OA yet.
Still Prairie
at this point in the story, so it's still Prairie. When Prairie comes back and she's trying to explain to everybody, it's not about getting out, it's about getting in. It's about kind of having a deeper understanding of working together in order to have a deeper understanding of the near-death experiences that we've had and what they mean and what we can get from them. And like she has this moment where she says, part of the reason that a lab rat doesn't have any power is that it doesn't know that it's in an experiment. If it did, it could do stuff purposefully to like alter the results of the experiment, or like explore things itself in that context. So whether or not Khatun means like Hap is going to be good, part of it is kind of like he has created all of this infrastructure to like investigate this that you can then use. So he's like gonna be involved in the solution to whatever the problem is, whether he knows it or not. And I think that's a pretty interesting pivot for the story to take.
To him, the problem is still what happens to the soul when it leaves the body. That's still his core motivating mission. He just, the way he's going about that, he's like unorthodox and unethical, but like I understand when you're like, okay, well, this is the only way I can do this. Like you said, they have to be lab rats. They have to be captured for it to work. I can't just like recruit people and hope that they understand me, and it won't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even need to like seek a redemption arc for Hap to say like you can use him and what he's doing.
Yeah,
is kind of, I think, the message. Yeah.
So anyways, Prairie has her sight back. Congratulations. There's a lot of present day stuff, and then back in the past, Hap lets Prairie out because he says, all right, I'm going to start asking you questions. I'm going to interview you. You've gotten out enough times. Like, I have questions, crucial questions to doing the work. I'm going to ask you about your NDE, and I'm going to hold that heart monitor up from episode 1 or episode 2 up to your heart, and I'm going to listen while I interview you. What was it like when you died? What did you see? What did you smell? What did you feel? Basically sensory questions. She answers mostly honestly, even though you can tell she like doesn't want to tell him everything because he's not supposed to know that she can see now. So she's trying to hide that, and like her heart rate is naturally higher, and he can tell something's up, but he's not really figuring it out. And then the basement crew comes up with this plan to, whenever the scopolamine gas, which they learn is scopolamine, it's devil's breath. This is a real thing. Is when that gets in like and put into their rooms, they can, 2 people on on sides can inhale their gas so that it doesn't go into the room between them, or at least it will get less so that the person doesn't pass out. They also learned that the scopolamine makes your brain very malleable, and you become very easy to manipulate and coerce, and then you also black out and like forget what you did, which is terrifying and important for later. Homer decides after all this, because he's like, well, the other guy, the shitty guy on the other side, won't agree to do this, so let's have Rachel and Prairie suck the gas out. I'll be the fall guy, and I'll stay awake. and it took them a full year to learn how to act compliant under the influence of the drug. So that's the first indication of like this part took a while. And it kind of feels like they're playing a roguelike where they're like, okay, I did a run and then he found out, and then I did another run and then I got a little further, and that's kind of what it is. And that's kind of what Homer goes through here. Is Hap takes you to the lab, he straps you up to a machine, he tries to kill you, but your heart rate gets too high because he knows that you're not under the gas influence, and then he stops, and then you go back. Or he does it, and then he doesn't care about you, and you stop. Basically, Homer spends weeks, and then months, and then years in this fucked up lab in Hap's basement, simulating an NDE, being drowned from the head up. After 3 years of trying and failing and getting wheeled out and put in the machine, Homer never once gives up. And mind you, this boy's wearing the same outfit for 3 years. Doesn't that feel gross? I know there's a lot of other gross stuff, but they don't even give him a change of clothes, man. It's so yuck. And his whole thing is, if I could die consciously, I could find power on the other side, and I too could eat a living thing. And in our toward the end of the episode, we see his version of the afterlife. He does die. We see it. It's like a white hospital. There's bathrooms. We could study this Twin Peaks style all day. There's like pee flowing out of the toilets, and there's white halls everywhere, endless turns. And he doesn't seem to be able to figure it out just yet. The episode ends with him being like, I'm going to figure it out. I haven't done it yet. Or he has like a revelation. He's like, I think I got something. We don't know what that something is yet. How'd you feel about Homer's Odyssey?
I think the revelation for Hap in this episode is part of what is worth studying here, which is when he's asking Prairie about her near-death experience, she talks about choosing to come back, and he's like, oh, it's a choice. Like, you're conscious on the other side and you decided to return. Which I think is telling, because then you're sort of wondering, well, what happens when everybody's like unconscious or in this kind of like malleable state where they're going to forget what they did or what happened to them. What is a near-death experience like for them? Because there isn't that ability to like choose to return. So are they even going anywhere? Is Hap's experiment in the way that he's trying to do it even actually producing
an NDE?
What he's trying to produce? Right. And so then when it happens for Homer, the other thing is like Prairie's the only one who we know for sure saw Katoon and consciously makes like an exchange, because the rest of them are like, oh, what? Or have a less clear understanding. Rachel in the previous episode is like, when I came back, my voice was just different. I don't really understand. And Homer kind of behaves when he gets to his, whatever this like limbo or afterlife or this place is. He seems confused, as if he hasn't been to it before, or he doesn't know where he is, which makes me wonder, well, what was his initial NDE like? What did he witness before? What does it mean? What did it mean for him to choose to return? Or did he? Or is that an experience that's like unique to Prairie in some way? So those are the kinds of things that I'm wondering when Homer comes out of it at the end, is like, okay, you're going through this tunnel. Have you been here before? What does this place mean to you? Where are you going? That kind of stuff.
It's interesting to me that I was thinking about this, like, I run on the assumption that everything that's happening is real. And like these people are going through near-death experiences. People in our world have described near-death experiences that are very similar to this, where it's like I felt like I was in a space that was infinite, or I saw somebody from a culture I didn't recognize. Like, this is all like based in what some people have claimed. Those people also have like plenty of plausible reasons that they're not experiencing NDEs, and like we just don't know. It's one of those like interesting scientific things that we don't understand enough about. That it's cool that the OA can play in science fiction in the like science part of it, of like yeah, we can keep trying it, but also like the way you make the NDE happen matters too. You know, that just like drowning him in water, you're not gonna get the type of like NDE you want. But like these, like Rachel, you know, has this NDE when she's like, you know, drowning in the thing, or the OA has a similar one. The ones that connect us to other people are the ones that involve like tragedy. Those ones tend to be NDEs that are like meaningful. Just something to think about. That I found really cool.
Yeah, and it's intriguing to see how Hap is trying to collect data here and trying to make scientific this thing that you know, I think it is kind of like unobservable is part of the point of like the afterlife and faith and those sort of things. Like we just can't know. We don't have access to any kind of observable information that would tell us something about if there is like a life beyond death or whatever. And so Hap is like, oh, the way that I'll do it is I'll kill people temporarily and use my super listening device to listen and hear what the afterlife sounds like.
He's sound
that's
mapping
really
it.
interesting to me that yeah, to sound map it, that's the thing that he believes is like totally reliable, objective scientific fact, because he has this line he says to Prairie when he's bringing her up to interview her, where he's like, you know, normally I don't bother with subjective testimony,
Right.
As if it's like
the
it's
sound
just
is
not worth
objective,
it, like it's junk data or whatever. But in discussing with her and learning that this is a choice that she made to return, you see like, oh, that subjective experience like is the only observable kind of data that you can get and see of the afterlife. It's whatever someone conceives of it to be. And we learn, the other thing we learned from Homer's experience is that he doesn't go to the same place that Prairie went to.
Correct.
Right.
Your afterlife is based on what you see.
Feels important too. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like my favorite stuff about this show so far is like thinking about the afterlife and thinking about the ways that we try to reach it. And like this is just it's an unethical thing to explore. You know what I mean? Like it's just because it involves almost killing people, and we believe strongly in our society in like not killing people, that nobody gets to do what Hap does. There isn't anybody studying what Hap does. And if they are, then it's like, we wish we could study it, but we can't force people to almost die. That's like wildly amoral. So it's kind of like, well, what if you could? What if you maybe somebody could do it if they were just a criminal about it? So yeah, I love that stuff, and I want to see that just explored more. I don't need answers there. I just kind of like them talking about it. Like you said, the whole mapping it. What does the sound of it sound like? As if that's objective. Super cool.
Yeah.
I want to return to the present though, because that's the big stuff. Is Homer's like, you know, try getting in the chair, get out. Oh, don't look scared. Look scared. It's very like, yes, a thriller. Kelly compared it to the Netflix show You, the Penn Badger show You, which is also about like people being in captivity and getting out because of a mentally unwell person. But that show's a little bit sillier for a lot of reasons, and also based in like him loving these people. Anyways, in the present, Betty said she wishes she met the OA sooner so she could meet her brother Theo, and she asks the boys to walk her to her car after a particularly exhausting session. We learn about the other psychic boy, the one member of the crew we haven't really gotten to know yet. His name is Jesse. He comes home to his sister Allie, who's smoking a bong late at night watching a Kubrick movie, and he says, "What's Kubrick?" I love when someone says, "What's Kubrick?" and then smokes a bong. That's the best thing in the fucking world. And then goes, "By the way, sis, do you believe in angels?" Great. This is two high siblings just having a good time. But it's very characterful, you know? I say this a lot.
Yeah, the scene is incredibly well written because it's so true to this exact relationship of like this older sibling who kind of has taken on like a what's the word, a guardianship role in the aftermath of the mother committing suicide. We don't know how recent that is to when the show begins, But when he asks his sister, like, do you believe in angels? Was mom an angel? She says, I don't think angels commit suicide, which is quite a line to just sort of turn over in your mind. But yeah, they have this really characterful exchange where you can see them both trying to reach each other
Yeah.
and be like, oh, you know, what's up with Steve? Isn't he like really religious? And Jesse's like, no, they're gonna send him to the military. Like, they keep misremembering things about each other and each other's lives. And that detail of, like, he gets home and the door's open and he's like, did you know the door was open? She's like, oh, that's why it was cold in here. So yeah, that scene really worked for me in the same way that the scenes with what was the kid's name from last week who's like, he's getting the scholarship and
French.
the stuff with his home life, French. Like, they just render these like quick little vignettes of here's what people have going on at home really well. Yeah.
I don't need much more of it than this either. I feel like I get Jesse well enough now to understand, like, because all you need to understand is why, right? All of the show is like the bare minimum we need to explain to you is why people are the way they are. Like, why are these people all folks who would go to someone like the OA? Well, Jesse's someone who seeks answers and is seeking a mother figure. The trans kid is looking for family and kinship. Steve is looking for a sense of normalcy and someone who cares about him. Betty is looking for answers and reconciling grief. Like, it's like it makes sense already. We're quickly understanding that. Speaking of Betty, we're dealing with her brother's will. She finally meets up with that guy, and he says, you have a lot of money coming your way, potentially. I just want you to know that. So we're going to handle that at some point. And speaking of money, Nancy, the OA's guardian, wants to pay for her care. She says, I think I should go back to work. She's been reading the book about Janie and thinking, well, that mom went back to work. I should do that. This is a very mom thing to do. It's like, I should work. I should go to school. And you're like, you're good, Nancy. Do whatever makes you happy, I guess. Okay, so then they go to help Betty out. They bring a big truck because they have to get like her brother's affairs. They listen to some music. She shows them the incredible Mr. Limpet, which explains why Theo called her Otter. He turns into an otter. The incredible Mr. Olympic, the Knots movie is crazy. I was like, I think I've seen this movie poster before. What a good detail.
I love an adult trying to explain Don Knotts to teenagers.
He was a little man.
Like, yeah, he was a weird little guy. He had to be there. So funny.
He was in every movie, and we all kind of loved him, but he was fine. He's just little and had a funny voice and a distinct face, and he was an otter in an animated movie, or a partially animated movie. Maybe he became an otter after all. I just got old. Betty.
Yeah, and then the scene ends with this this moment that just kind of gets right to the heart of it, where Steve is trying on her brother's like ski gear. He's like, hey, how do I look in the ski gear? And you can tell that what's going through her head is, you look exactly like my brother. That is what this is. Like, this kid who I was ready to give up on and to push out of school, I'm now seeing you standing here so much like my brother, who I like am worried and guilty that I gave up on or pushed him out or pushed him to eventually losing his life. Like, you can see all of that. And then Jesse chiming in to be like, oh, I'm reading this in you. I'm going to help you say, oh, you look good. She's like, yeah, you look good. Yeah. That moment is just, it's amazing.
Oh, from the top rope! That was awesome! Oh my god. That was so cool. Please watch the video version, listener. You get to watch a whole fucking battle royale happening. We gotta start charging for this. I'm sorry. It just was cool and loud.
Meanwhile, the third one's just trying to eat down there.
It's just trying to vibe, trying to grill.
I don't know if you can even see that.
Yeah. I think I see the ears only, yeah. Yeah, this scene's really beautiful, and I think Phyllis is just an incredible actress. Seriously, like, we know her as like the silly character on The Office, and it's like, oh, she actually had a pocket, like profound grief that she can tap into. It feels real, and to be surrounded by these idiot teens who just don't get it, but she's like doesn't hate them, like she still empathizes, is wonderful. So, our last major scene of the present day is the OA being introduced to the FBI, and specifically her new therapist within the FBI, a man named Rahim, who's played by the wonderful Riz Ahmed. I love this. You know how we were talking in the last episode about Rosalind Chow's character, and we were like, oh, this person like seems kind, but they might not be. He's doing the very like cool therapist thing of like, you don't even have to come if you don't want to. I want you to come. I'd love to help, but I'm not going to force you to do it. How did you read Rahim's whole deal here?
First of all, like the precision of this accent that Riz Ahmed is doing is phenomenal. Like this, like, yeah, I'm just a FBI guy, but I thought it'd be nice to help people. And like his physical, because I've seen him be himself or do like a Shakespeare monologue or something, and this like complete transformation into this guy. So incredible performance, first of all. But yeah, it's a similar character to Rosalind Chow's character, like I was saying in the first half of, okay, what you're saying feels like the truth. I can understand how you in your station in society would see brokenness around you and want to do something about it. I can choose to believe you. And just like the OA, she's asking these questions of, okay, so what are you going to tell the FBI? Like, if I tell you something, you're going to tell them, right?
You're the op. You're working for the op.
And he's like, no, our sessions are confidential. I mean, if you say something that could help them solve the case, like I will tell them, but it's about you. It's about you. And I think what it is I believe that he believes it, right? And that's the case for a lot of these characters. And I would put him in the bucket, the reporter in that bucket, and even Hap in that bucket of like, you believe that what you're doing is going to help someone.
Yeah.
We'll have to see it play out to see. And with Hap, it's like, well, no, you're the bad guy.
Right.
And with this guy, I think I trust him more than I trust the journalist, because it's not as clear to me that there's like a bag in it for him. But he's still working for the FBI. So like, I don't know. But I definitely am interested to see more of this character. And he does, he does really seem to understand where the OA is coming from, and is kind of the first character to push back against her and say, look, you want to help people, you want to go in guns blazing and save everybody, but you need to like recover and process what you experienced. And I think he's right. Like, I think that there is something in that I agree with.
Yeah. It's good therapy
kind of
practice.
The only one who's saying that. Yeah. But
we'll have to see.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you like him?
I love Riz Ahmed. I've loved him in every movie I've seen him in. If you only know him from Rogue One, because he plays a great character in Rogue One, you should also check out Four Lions. And I've heard Sound of Metal is fucking amazing, and he deserved an Oscar for that movie. I haven't seen Sound of Metal, but and his music. He's done a lot of music. It's really good. I inherently like him, and I keep thinking to myself, from a meta perspective, like, this is the extended friend group of Britt and Zal being like, I know via Hollywood that like Zal and Riz were friends. They worked together. Like, I just love being like, oh, who else from our friend group wants to be on our show? It makes me nostalgic for this era of Netflix originals, where I was talking about this with Kelly. It's like nowadays a Netflix original is we got the biggest production studio ever to give us the biggest Hollywood actors ever to give us 8 solid episodes of slop. And you're like, great, that's a show. Fucking book it. Everyone will watch it. And this is like a show creator, a writing team, and actors say, we made a show for you. Please buy it from us and air it. Like treating Netflix like it was a cable network. And in that, it makes it feel this like indie spirit. The OA feels like a show that's just like a couple of, obviously like professional actors in Hollywood, but it's kind of like them just going like, yeah, we wanted to tell a story about the afterlife, and like we have a decent CG budget, but we're just gonna kind of get our friends to all be the characters. Is that cool? Will you air it? And I love that, and that's what I feel when I see Raheem in here. Is just like, yeah, this is like a member of the crew. He feels like one of the friend group. But yeah, I think this is just another tab. That's what's so good about this Netflix era as well, is we could like in theory watch this whole season in one day. I could just keep slamming. Like, I don't have to worry for too long about what Raheem's deal is because I'm gonna know what it is soon. So yeah, I say keep a pin in him. I'm more interested in him than the journalist, if I'm being honest with you. I think the journalist, I'm like,
yeah, I agree.
Ultimately, the other thing is, remember in episodes like one mostly, where she would just like do miracles on people or just like touch people in a way that felt, or like with the dog. The OA could do this again. She could do it to Raheem.
Right.
So even if he's like, I work for the FBI, she could do something with him, and then it's like, oh no, I give up my job for you. I'll sacrifice something for you. That would be great.
True. That's true.
And that's the episode. Do you have any stray notes on the way? I have a couple, but I'd like to hear yours first.
I mean, I'm still just marveling at Jason Isaacs' performance as Hap. The way that he so matter-of-factly that it's startling says things like, oh, when I killed you, it was the only non-scientific death I've ever had here. And he's like putting ice on her head. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I lost you there when I hit you with the butt of my gun.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, this guy is unreal.
Knocked you out.
Yeah. And I also was so fascinated. I wanted way more of Homer trying to like watch every or listen to every audio log in the game before the like level ends. That also felt very video gamey to me, where he's like just tossing in tapes of Hap at different stages saying random stuff, and you get this insight into him of like, who are you making these tapes for?
Who are
like,
these
you're
for?
meticulously documenting this process.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. That was very video gamey audio log of like click play, and then it plays, and you're like, hurry up, the alarm's going off. And that's something I love the most about the escape plot line, is it feels super mechanical in like a satisfying kind of crunchy way. Anything else?
I think that's the big stuff. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else in my notes that we haven't covered.
2 quickies. When they are trying on the ski outfit, before they do that, they put on some music in the house where BB-8's brother lived. They put some metal music on, and the 2 boys become Beavis and Butthead. Nice jump, kitty. They become Beavis and Butthead, and they're like, yeah, rock it out. And then she's like, please lower it. And she goes, careful, they're going to start doing heroin again. I thought that line was great. Yeah, damn. I see they were characterful a lot. I think the show, it's what it does genuinely the best. Is like every line is like, wow, I understand something about you.
Yeah.
Whoa, I totally get you. And then like this is, I already said this line, but we were going through it quickly. Katoon's line that I've been thinking about a lot and rotating in my head is, to exist is to survive unfair choices. I think is so interesting for a character like her to be like, yeah, you're gonna choose to live instead of being in the afterlife where you don't have to, nothing has to be unfair. You get to see your dad, but you don't have any more unfair choices. You get only fair choices. To exist is to survive the hard ones. I just think that's super interesting, and it's kind of a cool distinction between life and death. Is like part of living is accepting that you're gonna get handed a bad hand sometimes. part of playing Pokemon is accepting that you're going to have all 6 of your best cards in your prizes, and then sometimes you just have to scoop them and move to game 3 to exist to survive on fair choices. Anyways, that's all we have. Magellan, what are we watching next week on Chatz, my friend?
Next time we're continuing with the OA. We're watching episodes 5 and 6 of season 1, which
Nice.
are titled. Let me grab the titles for you here. They are titled. Where's my? Yeah, this is what I want. Wikipedia. Wikipedia always tells me. No, it doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. They are titled Chapter 5, Paradise, and Chapter 6, Forking Paths.
Excellent. There is one more major plot concept in the OA that I'm aware of. This is the last thing I know, and we're barreling towards it. I think it might be in 5 and 6. It might be literally in the finale. I don't know when it happens, but there's a thing, and I'll tell you what the thing is when we get to it. I'm so excited to see it. So stay tuned to Chatz OA. Margie, in the meantime, can you tell me where can you tell me where people find you on the internet?
You can find me on another podcast that I do with my friend Justin called Super Smash Echoes, where we play video games related to the Super Smash Brothers franchise, Super Smash Echoes. Check it out. You can also find me on Bluesky, not-that-magellan.bsky.social, and read some of my writing at not-that-magellan.ghost.io. Alan, what about you?
You can find me on Bluesky at Ibrahim, AIBRAHIM, posting mostly about Pokemon and my life and my wonderful girlfriend, who I just celebrated our first Valentine's Day with. I love you, Kelly, and I just wanted to say that. Also, I went 3-1 at locals today. 3-1.
Hey, congrats.
That's my first time earning enough. No, that's my second time earning prizing to break even on my entry, which feels really good. I feel like I'm getting better at this silly little game. So that's over on my Bluesky. And if you want to hear me talk about Pokemon, mostly the video games and the creatures themselves, check out the Creature Quorum podcast, which is found on scanlinemedia.com. My friend Six and I are playing through Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Pink and Pokemon Leaf Green because we are sick in the head and can't stop talking about Pokemon. Yeah, check out the Creature Quorum. And then I'm on Scanline Media a lot, so that's my podcast side gig. Magellan, I don't know who does the plug zone this week.
I think you did it last time, so I'll do it.
Sure, go for it.
To get in touch with the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can email us, chatzpod.bsky.social, with questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. If you want to jump on an episode of Chatz OA, let us know, and we'll schedule you in. You can also follow us on Bluesky, chatzpod.bsky.social. You can find our website at chatzpod.com, which will take you to a link tree that gives you the first episodes of every previous Chatz season and gives you links to all of these things that we're describing. So really, chatzpod.com is the place to go to for all of this stuff. We're on YouTube, Chatz Television Podcast, where you can see Pat's beautiful face from the first half, and where you can see my foster kittens, mine and Amanda's foster kittens, brawling in the background, which is always fun. Wherever you find us, please consider rating, reviewing, sharing, thumbs upping, all that stuff. And if you have the means to do so, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/chatspod. $1 a month gets you on the Discord that Pat mentioned in the first half. $3 a month gets you twice monthly bonus content. And $5 a month gets you thanked right here at the end of every episode. So thank you to Amanda. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you to Amanda, Arthur, Emily, Emrys, Felicia, Jen, Justin, Kelly, Kyrie, Lee, Marcus, my mom, MP, Nick of the Brothers at Infinite War, Noel, Six, and Stefan. Thank you, folks, for supporting the show. Thank you also to Camilla at Camillastrator for our podcast art. It is now time, Alan, for our Chatzumss, for things for people to snack on between now and next time. What is or are your Chatzumss for this week?
My Chatzumss is quick. I just got to watch on Valentine's Day with Kelly 2026's Wuthering Heights, or Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights.
Is it good? Is it good?
Okay, I think I understand why people are mad because Wuthering Heights is a beloved novel. Emily Bronte's original book.
Yeah.
Emily Bronte? Which Bronte is it? I think so. Yes, Emily Bronte.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. It's like beloved for a reason. It's got a beautiful structure to it. I read a summary of it. I watched a couple video summaries of it, and I was like, wow, what a cool concept for a story. A love story that extends beyond two people's lives. The movie is not a straight adaptation of the book at all, and I think that's what's pissing people off. And in addition to other things, it's a little bit long, despite being a shorter part of the story. The sex stuff is like hit or miss. Some of it hits, some of it doesn't hit. But like, Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi have really good chemistry. Jacob Elordi was very well cast because he has one of those faces that you just kind of want to look at. Like, he's kind of like, it's like a distortion. You're like, are you hot? I don't know. And that's what Margot Robbie's doing for the whole movie as Kathy is just like kind of staring at him and being like, I think you're the man I love. No, wait, fuck. And just like repeat that for 2.5 hours. Lots of yearning, beautifully shot. If I give this movie credit for any one major thing, incredibly shot. Like just and beautiful set design. People were comparing it a lot to Nosferatu. I didn't watch Robert Eggers' note for Nosferatu yet. I've been meaning to. But like super impressionistic, lots of like not realistic but powerful emotional imagery. And the soundtrack is by Charlie XCX, which is like aesthetically just a really cool, pleasing thing. I think it's a movie you can have a good time with, and unless you are like a diehard fan of Wuthering Heights, in which case you'll have a bad time because the movie doesn't end the way the book does at all. It ends very differently, and we were both left emotional messes at the end of it. But that's for another time. That's my Chatz on Wuthering Heights. Check it out if that sounds interesting. You check it out. It's still in theaters. Watch it with someone you love. Watch it with your lover. I don't know. Live your life. What about you?
I have another music chat. This one is for an album. It is the most recent release from J. Cole called The Fall Off. Now, this is it's an enthusiastic chatsum, but I'm not going to tell you that this is like the greatest album of all time because I think part of what's interesting about it, I saw someone on YouTube refer to it as a masterpiece. And I think that is definitely true. It's a double album. It's like too long. It's too repetitive, but it's like too long and too repetitive by somebody who is at the very apex of their technical ability as a lyricist. And so if you have ever enjoyed J. Cole in the past or have any interest in him, he's kind of doing like the canonical version of everything that he's said at some point on this album. And also there are a bunch of songs that are sort of like, this is my take on like rapping a common song about how hip hop is a woman who I used to love. Or like, here is my version of Nas doing a song where he's rapping a story backwards. So he's also just kind of doing these like very clear homages to quite famous and like intriguing hip hop songs. So there's a lot to like on The Fall Off. But if you're just looking for one song, the song The Fall Off is Inevitable is staggering. He basically raps the story of his life backwards, and you're like, oh my god, whoa.
I'm ready for it. That's like next on my queue. I've been excited to listen to it.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
I was never the world's biggest J. Cole fan, but I've always appreciated his work, and I have many friends who are the biggest J. Cole fans. So
same. Yeah.
Groovy. Thank you for the Chatz, Magellan. I will definitely be snacking on that. And thank you for being the OA to my Homer. Because at some point later in this series, we probably have to fall in love and something's going to happen between us. And I just don't know. But what about my baby? I don't know. We'll find out next time on Chatz OA. Peace.